Hey, what's up, phone lovers, and welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of November 7th, 2014. I'm Joe Fedua. Gotta get that applause in there.
I am Chris Chavez. Christopher Chavez.
And I am Kevin Kraus.
You made it out of the Verizon store to join us, Chris.
It's been this. I've been there this entire time, just freaking wrestling.
Straight from the depths of hell.
That was a horror story and a half. It was absolutely the worst experience of my life.
Well, tell us the story.
So yesterday I didn't make the podcast. If anyone is tuning in, last week, because I thought, hey, I'll stop by the Verizon store as soon as they open. Just pick up one of those Droid Turbos that everyone's talking about and quickly come back home. It's like right up the street from my apartment. So I went there and it was just like this huge headache and a half. They won't sell you the phone unless you're putting it on the line or upgrading. I'm like, what do you mean? This is a store, right? I just want to buy the phone. Like, here's my money. Like, throwing in my money and they're just throwing it right back at me. Horrible experience. And then I couldn't add it to my line because I wasn't an authorized user. So I had to hit up the guy whose phone line that I'm borrowing. I guess I'm paying for one of the phone lines. You guys might know him, the guy from Cruiser Light, Joe McHale. He actually hooked it up with unlimited Verizon.
Well, doesn't he host the Talk Soup?
Yeah, it's like the same name. It always cracks me up every time. The Cruiser Light guy, so I'm paying like $60 a month for unlimited everything, data and stuff. So I hit him up, and he's just like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable giving you authorization. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, at my wit's end. And
I need my fix, man.
I'm already here. I'm waiting. These guys, first of all, when you get in, you gotta check in, and then you stand there while, you're just waiting.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Apple Store.
It's a lot like the Apple Store. So you're just sitting there waiting for someone to help you, and there's all these old ladies coming in with their iPads, like, hey, can you guys show me how to send an email? And then these guys are talking to these poor little old ladies, and I'm just sitting there scratching my neck. But eventually he added me to the account, and then I tried to buy it, but then my credit card, because I recently moved to San Diego, it was such a huge purchase that they were declining me. Had to call my credit. It was just one headache after another, and then I just went to the dang bank, grabbed a big old wad of cash, came back, just take my dang money. Sure enough, as the guy's taking it out of the box and showing, oh, here's your phone, I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm playing around with it, and the freaking volume button gets stuck just in the down position. And I'm like, are you serious? And I flip it around and look at the back, and the ballistic nylon backing, it's starting to bubble out. It's coming out, so you can press down on it, and you could hear it kind of sticking to the glue, but not really adhering. So it was just put together all haphazardly. The power button you couldn't even reach because it was buried inside of the housing. It was so horrible. I'm like, can I exchange this for another one? They're like, that's all we got. I'm like, you gotta friggin' be kidding me. So it was just a big mess and a half, and I had to, after my work shift, I had to drive out to a different Verizon store and exchange it. Much cooler Verizon store, very, very nice people. The other one I went to was just horrible. The dude was hitting on my girlfriend. Mo went with me, and he's just oh yeah, I like your purse or whatever, and just being all sleazy and weird. And I'm like, are you serious right now? What the heck is happening?
It's a bad experience, dude.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
I don't understand why you needed to have it all of a sudden. Because I swear the day before when it came out, you tweeted, "Isn't this phone really ugly?" And then the next day, you're like, "Oh, I gotta have this."
Well, it's
right now.
It was the ballistic nylon that sold me. When I saw that one, I was like, "Oh, okay." So the ballistic nylon version doesn't have any Verizon branding on the back. It just says 64 gigabyte. Droid.
Yeah, I really do like the way the ballistic nylon looks. When I had my choice, when I went to the Droid event, and I had a much easier experience getting a Droid Turbo than Chris. I just pretty much walked up and said, "I want that 64 gigabyte ballistic nylon, yo," and they were like, "Here you go."
Dang. Have you been using it? Or are you still using?
Yeah, I've been using it. I haven't ported my. I have Verizon, but I haven't switched my number over to use it as my main phone. But I've been using it for a lot of my media and for. But I've been pretty impressed. I know you had your battery test and you didn't. Uh, you were impressed, but you didn't get it to 2 full days. Granted, I probably didn't use mine as much as you did, but the battery on mine lasted over 2 days, with kind of light to moderate use though.
Yeah, with light use or just like standby, you can go pretty far with it, but I don't know. Like once I loaded up all my standard apps, so like my Facebook, which is always refreshing in the background, Instagram, all these, Twitter, all that stuff. And I'm like in a Hangouts group chat, so like every 5 seconds, it's like bloop bloop bloop, like just getting new messages. I'm not really getting that great. I think like tops I'm getting now is like 20 hours. This is like day 7. Tomorrow will be day 7. I mean, I guess not officially, but like a full 7 days of battery life tests. So I'll probably write a post about that, how battery life has been. But it's not even close to 2 days. So like it'll last you a full day, and then you'll get home and you'll be at like 1%. That's kind of what I'm noticing. So I unplug it at like 7 a.m. when I wake up, and it takes me all the way till about midnight, like when I rest my head at night, and it just dies like at 1% finally. But so it's just not. I wish it was better. There's other phones. I know, like the freaking iPhone, meanwhile, is getting freaking awesome battery life, like especially like in standby. It just lasts like just as long, or not, or if not longer. But it's so much smaller too. Like this is a pretty thick. The Droid Turbo is a pretty thick overall phone, kind of heavy.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something just inherently wrong about Android. I don't know if it's the phone. I don't know if it's the 2K display on it or whatever. There's something wrong with Android where you can't just have a phone just sitting there and just your battery life be good. Like you have to throw this gigantic carb on your phone just to get decent battery life out of Android, and it's starting to really frustrate me.
I mean, yeah, granted, even if the battery doesn't last as long as 48 hours, which is a pretty big claim, I mean, for me, if I'm going to make it sun up to sundown without putting it on a charger, I'm pretty happy with that. So, I mean, it's adequate battery life. I've been impressed with most aspects of it. It's got really solid build quality, aside from, I guess, purchasing it when you got it and found it falling apart. But it's got good build quality. It's got, it's heavy, but it's got like a nice kind of weight to it where it just feels like a nice quality phone. And yeah, I've liked it. I think my other gripe with it is, even though it's got the Snapdragon 805, it's kind of laggy and sluggish from time to time with certain things. A lot of the transitions and animations are kind of jaggy, but I mean, it's still really nice, and on benchmarks it performs really well. But I haven't been super impressed with the processing power so far. But everything else is pretty solid.
I've noticed that it's fast. It's really fast. I didn't think it was that much faster than my Nexus 5, but I mean, it's kind of like, I guess, the way things work, where when you upgrade to something, you don't really notice the difference until you go back. So like I went back to my Nexus 5 and like some of these other from the Moto X, and Moto X is still really fast, but like my Nexus 5 and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, it feels like it's lagging more. But the thing that really bothers me about the Droid Turbo is that because of the 2K, the resolution is so high. When you're scrolling around, you'll see like the squishing effect. So if you're scrolling up and down through menus, it's like, because the pixels there's so many freaking pixels to move.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of the animations of it, kind of weird.
It's weird. Or when you're scrolling like left and right through stuff, so like photos or just whatever, you'll see it like wobble like this. Like there's like this slight wobble the whole time, so you just get kind of like motion sick or something. It's very, very like small. I don't think most people notice it, but I mean, I noticed it, and it's just like, it's weird. The 2K display, I feel like, just completely ruined this phone for me. It would have gotten way better battery life. Everything. It would have looked just as sharp.
I'm not really that impressed with the display either. It doesn't get very bright, and for an AMOLED, the colors don't really pop that much either. I mean, it's not super AMOLED, but it's still got kind of a, I don't know, it seems a little muted. It doesn't get very bright.
I think it's just, overall it's the brightness that kind of probably kills that. But you don't ever notice the 2K. Like, no, you don't look at the phone and be like, oh, this looks so much sharper than my Moto X or the iPhone. Like, you don't notice it. It's just so much overkill.
Well, I mean, and it does sound like I'm talking. I mean, I guess we're both talking a little bit of trash about it, but I do think it's a pretty nice phone. It is one of the better phones out there right now. So
yeah. I wanna give it up, but at the same time, I don't. I'm just hoping that they'll release a GSM version. And I can maybe go back to T-Mobile.
The Moto Max, the global version.
I think
there is some kind of GSM support in that, but of course not. It's locked to Verizon, but I think there will be that more global version. I kind of just look at it as pretty much a Nexus 6 with the smaller form factor. Some other differences, but it's got a lot of the
That's what I originally thought too. I think we talked about that last week, didn't we, Kevin?
Yeah.
Whereas I was like, why isn't the Droid Turbo the Nexus 6? But
would have made way more sense. Or just the Nexus 5 2015. But I mean, I guess Verizon paid a lot of money for it, so they wanted that exclusivity and just to be on there, locked down on their network.
All right, so speaking of the Nexus, let's talk a little bit about the devices that came out this week that are arriving on people's doorsteps. Nexus 9, Nexus Player. We have both of them. Chris, you have the Nexus 9. Actually, Kevin does too. But Chris, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's big old Nexus. It's a tablet. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. I actually haven't read any of the reviews that have been coming out because I was thinking that I was going to review it, so I kind of wanted to keep things a little more, I guess, unbiased or whatever. But there's a lot of stuff I don't like about it, and a lot of stuff I do. Mainly just like the whole tablet interface, especially that form factor, the like 4:3 or whatever it is, the aspect ratio. It's so weird because there's so many apps where it's just like they're just all stretched across the screen. It's almost like there's just all this empty, unused space on all this stuff. So like on Gmail, when you tilt it in landscape or whatever, you have these different panes to view stuff. So there are some apps that do that even when you're in portrait because it's like pretty much portrait or landscape. It's almost the same, very little differences. But generally most of the time, Hangouts, messaging apps, all this stuff, you're just like, why is there so much freaking space just being like unused? It's like these huge areas of just, I feel like nothing's really tablet optimized right now. Not even the Google apps. That's what's, I think, really frustrating. So that's the only thing that's kind of just bothering me about it.
I think that's always why the Nexus 7 has sort of worked, is because it's small, where the apps that aren't optimized for a tablet still look okay.
Yeah, everything looks wonderful in the Nexus 7. You get a little bit more, screen real estate, but nothing because it's still 16:9 aspect ratio. It's all long. It's basically like a big phone, so it just always worked better with that. This one is just kind of weird, and again, I mean, it's just like half-baked. I feel like it really wasn't ready for production. Not production, but just I think Lollipop in general just wasn't ready, and Google probably should have made a couple more tablet optimized apps and stuff, because otherwise it just looks. It's weird. And don't even get me started on the processor. The freaking I was so excited about this whole Tegra 4 whatever. Tegra
K1 is that
K1. That's what it is. K-Swiss. I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be awesome because of all the like hype they're talking about it. And I don't know, maybe just because the software is early or what, but there's just things are like juddering. Things like take a while to load, and you'll just be sitting there staring at your screen like, what the hell's going on? And then eventually it'll load up. Switching between apps, sometimes you get the animation, sometimes you get the animation and it turns black, the whole screen goes black, and you're like, what the hell? And then it blinks back on, and then the app like just appears. So weird. So weird.
That's surprising.
I have the Nexus 9 too, but I actually just got it. Haven't had a lot of time to play with it. So I mean, on first glance, I kind of the form factor and whatever, it's nice, but I think in a more general sense, Android as an operating system has just never really, to me, worked well on the tablet, and I think it's because what you were saying earlier, Chris, about just like there's so much empty space in it. You really have to load up your home screens to make it seem like you're taking advantage of all the screen real estate that you have, and then the way the apps work and everything. So, it always seems like tablets have been an afterthought for Android, and they're just kind of putting the smartphone OS on a tablet form factor.
Just stretch it out.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to look at like iOS, and that is even more so. They just put a phone OS on a tablet because you can. Isn't it the same amount of icons basically that you'll have on an iPad home screen that it is on the iPhone? To me, the problem with Android tablets hasn't been so much Android; it's been that no one is making great Android apps for tablets.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously. That's what needs to be worked on. I mean, and maybe they will. It's still kind of new. They just released like the Lollipop code and all that stuff. So, I mean, I guess developers need some time to do it. But It's just like right now, it just seems like it's always the same tired story with Android. It's like you have a new Android release, it's all buggy, nobody's making stuff that's compatible with it.
We're going to double down on tablets.
I also feel like Android tablets never really have transcended beyond the idea that they're media devices. I feel like the iPad is seen as a productivity device and a business device and things that people use in their, at the office and at home and everything. But the Android tablet sort of just seems relegated to that realm of media devices. Like, oh yeah, I'll be in the car and watch a movie on my Nexus 7. Like, I just want a cheap tablet I can take on a plane and watch some video.
The iPad has really evolved, because I remember when the iPad was new, that it was just this media, like, everyone would say this is the ultimate media consumption device. But now it has so much more productivity stuff that you can do with it.
Oh yeah, like the Office apps and all that stuff, and then there's like 1,000,001 Bluetooth keyboards you can buy for it. And I mean, I feel like you still can't really get things done because of the file system and the way stuff works. But I mean, I guess for the most part now everything's moving to the cloud, and it makes things a lot easier that way. But in the Nexus 9, it comes like on the Google Play Store. You have that cool keyboard now that comes like with it, or you can buy it with it, but listed alongside it, which is kind of cool. I just think if I was going to get work done, I would rather do it on an Android tablet than I would an iPad for sure. But as far as like tablet optimized apps go, I can't even imagine what WordPress looks like on the Nexus 9. It probably just looks like exactly like the smartphone OS, just everything's stretched out and all weird and very small little window pane, and it's just silly, very silly.
I would still take a Surface if I was going to do a lot of work on a tablet.
Yeah, I think Surface is pretty awesome, honestly. If I had to choose between all of those, and I'm like, which one do I need to do, like just to do some light work and stuff? Yeah, I would still take a Surface tablet.
Yeah, actually, the Surface has grown on me in that extent. The more I think about it, but I just am so far removed from wanting to be anything near the Windows ecosystem right now. So.
Yeah, I've been away from Windows so long now. It's like if I went back, I don't even know what I'd do with myself.
All right, so the other Nexus thing we have is the Nexus Player.
Yes.
Kevin, it's not even out of the box yet.
No, actually, these are shipping. So if you bought one of these, a lot of people are getting them today. I just got mine right here. I believe this is the Mobile Roar first. We're going to do the live unboxing. We've probably done this before.
Yeah, have we ever unboxed anything on?
I don't think we've ever unboxed anything.
So if you're out there watching, we're going to open this up. I mean, we're going to have plenty of content to follow with this Nexus as I kind of explore it. But if you have anything that you're dying to know about this, hit us up now. We'll either address it on the podcast or maybe it'll show up on Phandroid in the coming days and weeks. So leave us a comment or send us an email or hit me up on Twitter. But without further ado, I'm going to take this little plastic wrapper right off here.
Chris, do you have any music for this?
I don't.
We could do like a The thing with the unboxing is it's always so awkward because you're like, all right, you can't practice it because it's got to be the first time, right?
Don't be fooled, Kevin. I think many of the unboxings are not the first time they've ever been opened.
Honestly, my unboxings
Sorry about that, guys.
My unboxings are usually like I've already taken it out, played with it, looked at what's inside, and then I
there's nothing that unboxing more than when you're like, all right, we got the phone out of the box, let's turn it on, and then it's like, set up your Android account.
Yeah, that's exactly why. That's exactly why I never do them. Like,
all right, let's see. Never been open. We got it out of the plastic right here.
So dramatic.
We got French and English on the box if you care. See, Nexus Player. Slip off the sleeve. God, Google. See, this is excessive. I mean, this is just wasting paper.
What's it? It just has a big P on top? That's funny.
Ooh. Yeah, I guess it's for player?
Yeah. Because the Nexus 6 has Nexus 9 has a big 9 or an upside down 6.
More stickers on here.
I just want to point out that this is riveting for anyone that's listening to the audio version.
Oh yeah, I should be describing the whole thing. So it's a white box. It's like, I'd say maybe 6 inches wide by 4 inches tall.
Are you sure? Can you get a ruler out? I don't know if I can believe that.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I got one right here. So let's see.
Oh God, he does have a ruler.
So yeah, I'm sure everyone, even the people watching, are. All right, so we got the lid off here. Oh, there it is. The Nexus Player.
Ta-da!
So when you get one of these,
I think they accidentally send you a hockey puck.
it is like a hockey puck. So this is interesting. It's got like a cutout on the back here. You see?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not a solid puck. So pretty cool. Asus little button down here. I guess that's power, and your USB and HDMI and power cable slots. Let's see if anything else cool in this box. Got sorry, I keep hitting this microphone. This Nexus setup instruction thing.
I think that's probably good enough. I don't know if we need to get the instructional booklets read
cool
to
remote. You wanna look at the little remote? Yeah.
Let's do Kevin reads the Nexus Player quick setup guide.
Can you read the manual for us, please?
Hold on, I got the safety and warranty guide. We can go with that. No, but that's the Nexus Player, guys. So obviously, I haven't really. Oh, it comes up.
5-star unboxing.
We'll you want to go 2 for 2 with the game controller now?
I think we can go without that.
Yeah, so that's the Nexus Player. I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm interested. I've seen some, there've been a few reviews out there already, and so I'm intrigued to check this out. I haven't tried out anything since the most recent TV box I have is the Google TV Logitech review. Or is that Logitech? No, that's the Vizio Co-Star. No, I had the Logitech review, but now I have the Vizio Co-Star, which is equally bad. So this will be fun to check out.
Cool. I look forward to seeing more about that. All right, so I guess we'll get through some of our quick hit news here. First thing I just wanted to ask, because I think, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Material Design was announced, did you like it at first?
Hate it. Still hate it.
Okay, you do still hate it. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, because a lot of the Google apps now have the Material Design. So you still don't like it now that you're using it more?
I don't. I don't like the way it looks very... I mean, I like the animations, don't get me wrong. I like how a lot of stuff is really simplified, but I don't like these big, thick toolbars at the top now.
They're not any bigger.
But like before, they used to like disappear, right? Like as you would scroll up on stuff, those bars would kind of like just float up. What was it? KitKat, I guess, the KitKat design guidelines, whatever. So you would have a toolbar, but you can scroll up and that would disappear, so you can see more content. Now those bars are just always there, and it's just this huge, thick bar that I feel like it's another huge bar to have like on your display the whole time. I would have rather have seen that maybe just as a pull-out drawer on the side or something.
Like a bezel for your bezel.
I don't know. I think
it's like a bezel for your bezel, exactly.
I think it's just the apps, the certain apps, because I'm like I just opened up the Google Plus app, and when you scroll, all the bars disappear in that app.
Oh wait, you're right. Yeah, that's true. So sometimes, it does disappear. Inbox, it's disappearing as well. So that's cool. But I mean, just overall, the look of Material, I'm just not, as far as apps go. I don't really. It just looks very cartoony and very weird. Just very.
Yeah, the thing that I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but the Material Design, not only is Google updating more of their apps on Android, but this is actually starting to come to the iOS apps. They just updated Google Maps today, actually, with the Material Design version. That's so
weird.
it's gonna be everywhere.
I'm a big fan. I really like it, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the animations, don't get me wrong. I like the way that all that stuff works out and stuff, but I just don't like, I don't know. I was a bigger fan of, I just like the way HTC does a lot of the stuff where it's not too cartoony and still looks very professional, very sleek, mature. And then Google's just like,
I like
crazy colors.
Like it.
It's like a Crayola. The reminds me of like a Crayola or like
more fun, man.
Lego interface. It's more fun. I guess.
Chris is just against fun.
That's got to be it. No, I mean, I like it. I think it's got like that clean, minimal thing that they're going for, which I'm always into. I actually really like the new icon for Google Maps. the Material Design one. So, I don't know. Does Material Design have a place on iOS? Let's see.
Has any app icon changed more than the Google Maps icon?
All the time, yeah. It's just like just when I get used to one icon, I was thinking that today, and it's like boom, completely new Google Maps icon every single time.
Is that update even available for Android yet?
Yeah,
I think it is.
What was it, rolling out yesterday, or like the leaked APK at least? They announced it yesterday.
iOS got it first. That's kind of crazy.
I think they announced it for Android first, but it's just rolling out in stages like they always do. iOS doesn't have that problem.
All right, so speaking of design, there is a rumor that came out this week that the Galaxy S6 is going to be designed completely from scratch. I guess it's getting a whole new look. That's what Samsung. That's the rumor.
No, we hear about 6 to 8 months before each new Galaxy S launch. We hear the rumor that it's going to be redesigned.
It's going to be
like
never does.
Some website out there has a they schedule a to-do. They say 8 months before the next Galaxy S, post a unsourced rumor about complete redesign.
Yeah.
Every time.
I won't call you on it either because it'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I believe
it this time though.
They upgrade the rumor to it's going to be built out of metal.
No, I think
that's also every
really
year
going to happen. I think unlike all those other times, the previous years, Samsung was like riding that wave. Everyone was buying. They had this huge market share. They're making all these profits. But like recently, the Galaxy S5 hasn't really been selling so hot. They haven't been doing so well in the mobile market. I mean, I think it's time. I think it's time they're finally like, okay, maybe this same tired old formula isn't working, and let's try to make something completely new. Because if we all know Samsung kind of takes a lot of cues from Apple, and if Apple can do it, just release a completely new phone every 2 years, it's a completely different design, then I'm sure Samsung's going to do it now. So.
Yeah, I think they are too, because you just look at the Note 4, which has a little bit of a different design.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the Galaxy Alpha that they released that had a different design. I think they've been tinkering with it and kind of getting ready to maybe have a big change. So
I mean, I think a bold move they could make would be to, we saw the Galaxy Round and we saw the Note Edge. A bold move would be to release the Galaxy S and have the actual main Galaxy S have some kind of unique screen form factor like that, and basically more or less force it down our throats. But it would be, the one way that if you really want people to get into this curved screen technology, you might as well make it the main feature of your flagship device that you're launching. That would be bold. That would be something that I would might not work well, but I would appreciate them taking that.
I don't think they even care about getting people to use that round display, though. I think they mainly just did that one because LG did it.
But they did it for. I mean, maybe, but I mean, they still think it's an important feature. I mean, they're really into the curved and bending AMOLED displays.
Yeah, they are for their TVs. They got all those curved Samsung TVs that are so stupid, I think.
It's immersive.
Yeah, for one person in the room.
Wraps around your head.
Everybody else in the room is like, can I see?
What's going on over there?
All right, so moving on. Lollipop was released to AOSP this week, but no rollout for the Nexus 5, 4, or 7 yet, because I guess there's a battery bug. I want Lollipop.
Oh yeah, huh? You never flashed any of the developer previews or anything?
No, I've been holding out. I haven't really wanted to mess with it because I thought I would get it pretty quick, but take a little bit longer.
Okay, keep in mind this, like everyone's complaining, the Nexus 4 didn't get KitKat until 2 weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks, November 12th. What's today? So that's 6. Yeah. They still have like another week before just to match last year's rollout. So
I wouldn't be surprised if any smartphone form factors might not even get it until after the Nexus 6 is shipping and in people's hands. That's what I would guess.
That was always the thing. That's what Google always said, and they kind of threw everyone for a loop when they released the developer preview. But traditionally, it was that the new Android version debuts on the next Nexus. So once that is released, like officially available for sale, then the rollout begins for everyone else. And And since the Nexus 6 isn't coming out till the end of the year, they don't even have a date. They just keep saying later in November. This whole launch has just been such a mess. So Google, so Raven.
Yeah, because now like they're doing this thing where every Wednesday, I guess, they try to get more devices available for pre-order.
Yeah.
Which, once again, we talked about this last week when you were
gone. That goes back to that question that someone brought up last week, or I think you brought up.
Yeah, it's like, this is a pre-order. So what are you doing every Wednesday? I mean, you're getting more devices available to pre-order. I thought a pre-order was so that you knew how many devices to have.
Yeah, it hurts my head. I mean, I don't know how this whole business aspect stuff works, but I mean, maybe they're trying to see, like, they're letting you pre-order devices they know they can ship out on that day, and I don't know.
Like, basically what they're doing right now is every Wednesday they're like, okay, we have more of these that you can buy, and then people go online and buy them, and then they're like, well, we don't know when we're going to give it to you.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. We have more available for you to buy, but we don't know when.
Can somebody write a post? Can we call them out for like this whole one? It's like very much a 1+1 thing, but like I feel like no one's giving Google crap over it when everyone they busted OnePlus's balls.
And then on top of that, Motorola just started selling the Nexus 6 through their site too, right? Today.
Yeah. And they sold out pretty quick. I actually was able to add one of those to my cart. I mean, I didn't buy it, but it was available for longer than it usually is on Google Play.
Those are pre-orders too, then. So.
Yeah. And I don't think it had a date either.
Maybe these aren't actually pre-orders. Maybe that's what they're calling it because they don't know when they can ship it.
I just went on Motorola's site right now and added one to cart. So if you're listening and you want to add one to your cart, you can do it right now. I don't know what happens after you try to check out, but it's letting me add it to my cart.
I'm telling you, these aren't pre-orders. This is actually the release, and they're just calling it a pre-order so people don't get pissed off because of the long shipping times. Because remember last year, the Nexus 5 and stuff, people were buying them, but they were like, and as more and more people bought them, shipping times kept growing for like up to 3 months out, and people were so pissed about it.
Do you really think that's worse, though? I mean, if I bought one, I'd rather know that it was going to ship to me in like a month rather than it just being completely open-ended and have no idea when I might get it.
Well, you're pre-ordering it, so you just feel like, okay, I got it, and now I don't have to worry about it like releasing until like later. I mean, you're more complacent. You're not as angry. But when you buy something and you're like, wait, what? It's not going to ship for like another 2 months? This is ridiculous. I mean, that's what happened to me with the Xperia Z3 Compact. I forgot I even bought that stupid phone, and it was supposed to be released on November. It was supposed to start shipping in November 3rd, and now I look at it and it's like November 17th. At first, they didn't even have a shipping date. It was just like back ordered, and it's been like almost a full month now since I purchased that stupid phone, and it's just taking forever. That's really annoying. I'm way more like fried than I would be if I just like. It's a pre-order. Oh, okay. I can just chill out and just wait till it's released. It's a whole lot different. It's just a whole marketing thing.
Yeah, and granted, the Nexus phones haven't always been the biggest sellers with everyday consumers, but this is something where, regardless of that, if Google doesn't have a situation worked out within time for the holiday buying rush, it's a pretty bad look for them.
Oh gosh, that's going to be a complete mess. And maybe that's why like the whole Google Play supply is kind of limited, is because like Motorola is trying to churn out as many as they can so they can make it available on T-Mobile and AT&T and.
Yeah, do we even have any word on when the carrier availability will start?
Nope, they just said later. They said later in November. Be on the lookout for later in November when it comes to AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and U.S. Cellular. They didn't say anything about Verizon, so.
I mean, why is it so hard? They were able to pump out Moto X's for every carrier.
I mean, again, I think it was just kind of the whole launch is kind of weird. Lollipop is a little bit half-baked. It's just things weren't really ready on time, and they wanted to announce the phone a year later after the Nexus 5, which was October 31st. So, I mean, they didn't have much time to just were kind of rushing out the door with it.
I think it's all the conspiracy. It's all like they generate this to make it seem like a big deal so people are talking about it.
Could be that too. Could be.
Google, how about just release things when you're ready? I mean, there's really no reason not to.
Yeah, or they could just ship all the phones with like the word beta stamped on the back, like they do with like Gmail and everything.
Yeah, instead of Nexuses, they're beta now.
Nexus 6 beta.
I got to get that beta 6.
With Google Wave.
All right, so speaking of Motorola a little bit, just a little, like maybe an hour ago, they have new Moto 360s you can buy on their site. They have metal bands, and some of them have thinner metal bands for the people with dainty wrists.
For the ladies.
Gold.
Ladies. Get your 360s.
And I guess there's going to be a new watch face coming out that you can customize, which I'm kind of excited for because I like doing that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But really is anyone gonna go rush out and get a metal 360 band? I don't think you can buy the individual bands yet. Someone's got a dog. It's not me this time.
It's not mine.
Dogs can beat BRB.
Yeah, I don't think the individual bands are available yet because you're supposed to be able to buy like a brown leather band and metal bands if you already bought the 360. And then they also announced some partnerships with some companies who are going to make third-party bands. So like Tilt, they're going to be making some like nylon, rubber, whatever, like sport bands that you can wear. And there's some other company that's going to be making another stitched leather band. So that's pretty cool for people who are looking to customize their Moto 360 a little bit more.
Yeah.
For sure. I love it. I love my 360.
I actually bought a quick release adapter or whatever you want to call it for the leather band.
What?
Kind of like the metal watch bands have.
Yeah.
So it's like really easy to put on and off.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't even know you could do that.
That's just like an accessory like they sell for watches in general, or is that Moto specific?
No. I got this off eBay. It's just it could work for any watch that has a leather band like this. And it was like $3.
Dude, why didn't you post? You should post that. It's a mod. That's a Moto 360 mod. And tricks.
I guess.
From
it's not like I hacked anything. It's a completely legitimate thing to do.
Mod, man. I didn't know about it. You modified it. That's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe I'll write about it. All right. So moving on. The AT&T Lumia 830 is going to be available on Friday, which is tomorrow, and that's basically a bigger version of the 925. So it's got like the metal around the outside and the plastic back.
But the number's lower?
Yeah, I don't really understand the numbering. I think maybe it has less. I don't know. I guess the 9 series is usually for like flagship. So I guess this is like a tier below flagship.
Interesting.
I don't know. Don't ask me. And then also there's a story here about the Apple Watch could cost as much as $5,000 for some models.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess that's the gold edition.
Edition. It's the edition.
The gold Apple Watch edition will be between $4,000 and $5,000. They say.
That's
pretty pricey, but they're saying that even the steel one will start at $500. So it's going to be one of the pricier watches that's going to hit the market.
Do you think it's going to do well? I'm kind of still kind of...
That's what I was just going to say. I'm real curious to see how it does.
Will this be another like iPhone C, just kind of a flop type deal, or...
I don't know, because I think the interface is horrendous. And
it is.
The funny thing is that people have done, like, for the iPhone, they've done jailbreak mods where it replaces the iPhone interface with like an iWatch-inspired interface, and it's just...
I've seen that.
Like...
Why?
These incoherent bubble, so that it's like, where is the app I need? It's somewhere in this field of bubble.
It's like a game almost, because it's not even like they're just all like blah, 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 in a little cluster. It's like, how do I find what I'm looking for?
I can see your heartbeat.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm so curious to see how that thing's gonna do, because if any other company besides Apple releases, you'd be like, yep, it's gonna be a complete flop, no question. But this is made by Apple, so you never know.
Right.
Like, are people just going to be lining up like crazy to buy this thing?
But they say that because there is no solid release date, but the latest rumor that goes along with this pricing is that it'll be out by Valentine's Day of next year, so sometime mid-February.
It's going to be a hot Valentine's gift.
I know what I'm getting my lady.
Here's a $5,000 watch.
See her heartbeat. All day.
I could see if they launch it, that'll definitely be like an advertisement that they'll have like themed for Valentine's Day and the watch. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh God, I can see the commercials already. Kill me now. All right, so let's move on to our wins and fails of the week. Kevin, kick it off.
All right, last week, I think it was last week, it might have been the last couple of weeks, we've talked about a couple fails with Apple Pay, and we talked about the whole controversy of stores refusing to accept it, and we talked about some of the launch issues that they've had. But one of the good things that we kind of said that would be a good thing that would come out of Apple Pay, but now there's actually some hard numbers to back it up, is that Apple Pay, the introduction of Apple Pay, has in fact led to a rise in the number of Google Wallet users and payments. So the specific report claims that users of Google Wallet have almost doubled, and usage of payments has grown by 50%. So
That's what I said.
A lot more people are using Google Wallet. I don't know if that's because more stores are now accepting it, or just because it's a little more prominent, or it's less nerdy now to use your phone to pay for stuff. So people are kind of taking advantage of that new method of payment. But Apple Pay, like we predicted, is actually paying off for Google Wallet users. So I think that's a major win for mobile payments in general. As for my fail, I don't know much about this. I actually just saw this and watched the ad. I think it just launched today. I don't know. Have you guys heard of the Amazon Echo yet?
Oh yeah, I wanted to post it in that time.
The Amazon Echo, if you haven't heard of this yet, is a standalone speaker. Yeah, well, it looks like a paper towel holder, but it's a standalone speaker that has built-in Siri / Cortana / I guess Google Now type functionality. So you put the speaker in your room, you give it a sort of recognition phrase, like you give it a name, and then you can just say whatever, ask it questions, it'll tell you about the weather. Anything that your phone can already do
Alexa.
In any room of the house, except this is restricted to pretty much hearing range. I mean, they say it works in a room, but I guess it depends on your house setup. But I just think while the ad they put together is kind of cool and kind of convincing, and it's a nice feature type of thing, but I mean, it just, to me, it falls into the larger issue of Amazon's hardware strategy, which is they're just coming out with these devices that it's like you're just making them to make them, not because they actually make any sense or because people...
No, you know who they're making them for, and this device makes it even more clear, is the moms and dads of the world.
Moms.
Because they don't know how to use their phone to do this stuff, but you put a toilet paper roll in your kitchen on the counter and you ask it questions.
You show someone, a mom, an interface, and they just start pushing random buttons. They don't know what they're doing. They get lost. So this has no interface.
It's all about selling stuff on Amazon too. So they didn't really show that. They kind of hinted at it, but I'm sure in the future you'll be like, you'll have your Echo sitting there and you'll be on the toilet and you'll look over and there'll be no toilet paper and you'll be like, Echo, order me some toilet paper.
Help! Call 911.
You sit there for the next 24 hours and wait for it. No, people are gonna be accidentally buying stuff left and right. You'd be like cooking in the kitchen, is like, oh man, we're out of eggs. All of a sudden, Amazon Fresh shows up on your front door the next morning.
Honey, can you go buy some eggs? And then
I didn't order that.
Eggs on your doorstep. Or those little drones, little Amazon drones, can bring you toilet paper while you're on the toilet. Just buzz through your living room.
Man, I really wish we had a DVD of The Dark Knight Rises. Also, your drone approaching.
It's so convoluted, though, is the main thing with Echo, is that it's a standalone thing, but it has a smartphone companion app, and you can control it from your phone, but then why wouldn't you just use the voice assistant built into your phone? Like, it's just very strange. So I think it's a fail to me. I think anytime, until they prove otherwise, anytime Amazon introduces new hardware, it's falling in my fail column immediately.
Well, next they're going to come out with like a dedicated camera or their Firefly or whatever they call feature. That's all it will do. Like, I could do this on my phone. No, you need a camera.
I mean,
It
it
won't even
integrates.
save the pictures. It won't even upload the pictures.
Have you guys seen what was it, the Amazon? It's like a little barcode scanner that you use inside your house, and it has a microphone attached to it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Amazon announced that. That wasn't even too long ago. So this is like a less portable version of that, and it's in beta. That was in beta back then. This is in beta also. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I wonder how the speakers.
How much does this Echo cost? That's what I forgot to look up.
$200 or $100 if you're a Prime customer.
Well, there's a good thing they did.
Yep.
I mean, that's good, but that's still, they need to give deeper discounts to Prime customers for Amazon hardware. Because even, I mean, $100 off is nice, but it's like, or you get the Fire Phone and you get a free year of Prime, whatever. But I don't know.
I mean, $200 sounds like, yeah, no one's gonna probably buy it. But then you're like, oh, 100. That's actually not too bad. It's kind of reasonable. It's like getting a Bluetooth speaker.
How much does it cost nowadays to get a year of Prime?
It's 100
something, 130.
130, something like that.
Okay. It used to be like $80, but it's more expensive now.
Yeah, they upped the price recently.
Yeah, I guess that's the only way that Echo is justifiable. Is if at like $100, if it's the sound quality is just as good as like like a Jambox or whatever, then maybe it's worth buying just for the speaker, and then you get the other features as like bonus. But I don't know. It's not my thing.
Yeah. All right, my win of the week is going to be Microsoft Office is now free for Android and iOS. I'm not really sure what it cost before, but I know it was not free. And like in this day and age, who's really buying Microsoft Office to use on their phone? So I think making it free is a smart move. Probably get more people to start using Office. And I guess there's a Android tablet version coming out pretty soon too. So like we were talking about Android tablets not being great for productivity sometimes, well, pretty soon you'll be able to use Office. So there you go. My fail. I don't know if you guys saw this, but CNN during election night coverage, of course, Microsoft sponsors this and gave them all Surface tablets, so they had their line of Surfaces all propped up. But somebody noticed that one of the people just had an iPad propped up against the Surface, and the Surface was kind of like hiding that the iPad was there. So almost like putting your comic book inside your school textbook so the teacher doesn't see.
What? No freaking way.
Yeah, pretty dang hilarious. And now I'm wondering, because you watch like NFL pregame stuff, they all have their Surface tablets, and now I'm gonna wonder, okay, who's got iPads behind those things? Microsoft just can't win.
That's awesome.
All right, Chris, what do you have for us?
So my win and fail. My win's going to be the WhatsApp with voice over IP calling. There was a leak from some, I don't know if it's like a Dutch site or some foreign language Android site. I guess they dug into the APK or whatever, and they found all kinds of screens and icons and stuff showing that WhatsApp, which everyone's using, and it has like a couple billion users, who Facebook recently purchased, is going to pretty much probably going to allow a free internet calling sometime in the near future. You can already do this right now through Facebook Messenger, so it makes sense that Facebook would be like, hey, WhatsApp, how about you start doing some voice calls? Here's the stuff that we use, our technology and software stuff. So it makes sense, and it's pretty darn awesome. I think that's just the coolest thing ever. My fail for the week is probably just going to be the whole, I mean, we kind of talked about it already, but the whole Nexus launch thing. So many weird stuff going on. I think we can all agree that it was just kind of a big blunder in typical Google fashion. So, I mean, everyone's always hoping that Google's going to do it right. Like, oh, this year everyone will be able to buy a Nexus device with no problems. Never happens. Lollipop is still kind of half-baked, even though it's not. I mean, I guess it is officially out with the Nexus 9, and it's still kind of wonky and weird. But yeah, it's just bad. It's just really bad. And this would have never happened if Steve Jobs was still alive. I'm just saying. Somehow, everyone always says that. So
I have another win of the week that I'm going to tack on because I just saw it on Twitter. Baskin Robbins is going to have camouflage ice cream on Veterans Day next week.
Okay, sweet.
And the cone is camouflage too.
I saw that. It's like they look like army fatigues or whatever, but I didn't know that was on purpose. I just saw it like the new flavor and I was all excited, like, oh, this looks awesome. It's got like, I forget what it has in it, but it's got some pretty bomb flavors and a cool little mix in. But I was like, why does it look like army fatigues? Oh, that's probably just some sort of weird coincidence. But I didn't know. It's a Veterans Day.
Nothing is ever a coincidence, Chris.
It's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I need to look at what flavors are in this now.
Salty caramel and vanilla cake.
Oh!
What was the last one?
Vanilla cake.
Ooh.
So it's like a caramel. It's like a chocolate vanilla cake. That sounds good. I would try it out.
Sounds delicious.
Wonder what I don't know why vanilla cake is the green color though. It's weird.
I mean, probably don't want to have like lime with your chocolate and caramel. I don't know. I guess pistachio though. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that could work.
All right, app picks of the week. Kevin, what do you got for us? Oh, all right. I spoiled it.
Joe kind of spoiled it, stole my thunder, but I was going with I didn't realize it was for all mobile, but I just saw it come through the pipeline that Microsoft Office was now available for iPhone. I mean, they made a big deal about when they launched the free iPad version, and actually it was pretty nice, the iPad version, and that got a lot of good press. So I'm not personally a Microsoft Office user. I tend to stick with my Google Docs and Drive. But for those, I know a lot of people are still tied to the Office ecosystem, so being able to get those on your phone for free is a extremely nice thing. So if that's you, if you're looking to get some stuff done on your phone, you can do it now.
Yeah. My app pick of the week is not an Android app. It's not an iOS app. It's not even a Windows Phone app. We're going Roku app.
Nice.
Google Play Movies and TV, now available on Roku. Very surprised when I saw that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not expected. I think it's the first, correct me if I'm wrong, the first device not made by Google that has the Google Play Movies and TV app.
It's the introduction, I guess. I wonder what else they're going to bring it to, but
yeah.
It's very cool.
Yep, I'm a Roku user. That's my main set-top box, and I booted it up when it came out, and it's a nice app. I haven't rented anything on it yet, but it's a nice Roku app. One of the better designed ones that I've seen.
For sure. My app pick is going to be Disney Movies Anywhere, and this kind of ties into Joe's Google Play Movies and TV thing for Roku. So Disney Movies Anywhere is an app. I think it was on iOS already, but it finally came out for Android a couple days ago. And it just basically kind of aggregates all the Disney content, all their movies and all their stuff.
Does it include like Marvel and Star Wars, or is it just like Frozen and stuff?
Marvel's, no, not Star Wars yet, but I'm guessing eventually. But Pixar. Marvel and all the Disney movies and all the classics, new stuff. It's pretty much got everything in there, and it's kind of cool because it actually, you can link it to your iTunes and your Google Play Movies account or your Google account. And when you do that, it takes all your downloads. So if you've ever downloaded any Disney movies on iTunes, it brings them, makes them available to stream on that. So and it also will take your iTunes stuff and it'll make it available on your Google Play stuff too. So it just basically brings in everything.
That's actually really
it's so cool.
Yeah, and allows you to watch and stream those movies anywhere. So it's just it's pretty darn cool on your tablet, whatever, your TV, and your Roku now. So
somebody needs to make that app for just like everything, so that you just have to.
Yeah, I was my mind was blown, and like, how cool would that have been? To just see like a big, like maybe Voodoo, like maybe that's next, the Voodoo, whatever, the Blu-ray digital copy stuff. But yeah, so this is just Disney stuff at the moment, but I mean, usually people with kids and stuff have a bunch of Disney movies they have in the cloud somewhere, and this kind of just aggregates everything, makes it available anywhere, so it's just awesome. The only problem I had with the app was that it was running in the background at like 5% CPU usage and was like draining my battery for no reason. So I had to uninstall it, but it's great. It's great. Really cool.
I I also overlooked something that could have easily been my win of the week. Star Wars Episode 7 has a name.
What was they calling it?
This is
The Force Awakens.
Ooh. Is this just announced or something?
Yeah, it was on Twitter like a couple hours ago.
Really? That's brand new news to me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
It would grow on me, but that sounds more like one of their video game titles than a movie.
Well, I mean, they all kind of do at first. I mean, The Phantom Menace, come on.
Yeah, but that still sounds terrible. I mean,
The Phantom Menace is dope. That was the coolest.
Attack of the Clones, that's a novel written by somebody, I'm sure. Not a movie. Can't be. Revenge of the Sith was a good one, though.
Yeah, I like Revenge of the Sith. The Force Awakens, okay, maybe.
Yeah, but you know what the worst one is, and they didn't even give it to it originally, is A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
That was so lame.
That one was really stupid. I agree.
Best movie, worst name. All right, so I think that wraps things up. We have any questions this week, but like Kevin mentioned, let us know what you'd like us to do or what you'd like him to do with the Nexus Player. You can hit him up on Twitter, which I'll give you in a second, or hit Phandroid up on Twitter. Email us with our address podcast@mobileroar.com. You can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and the Windows Phone Store. Pretty much anywhere else. Leave us a review if you listen to us there. You can follow Chris on Twitter. He's at GamerCore. Kevin is at You Don't Know Kev. And I am at Tremo. And we will see you guys all next week. Later.